This is the Econocataclysm report for Monday, May 17th, 2009. It's the Escape from New York edition. I'm not Snake Plissken, I'm Jay Randall. Who's pissing me off today? Well, I'll tell you what. Number one on my list is Laura Blankfein. Laura Blankfein is the wife of the head of Goldman Sachs. That's right. The wife of the head vampire squid master himself. And she was in the Hamptons the other day, and she started screaming and wailing because she didn't want to wait with the little people. She didn't want to wait in line to buy things with the little people. You know, guys, you guys have got to figure out that nobody in this country cares whether you stay rich or not. Nobody. And as you can see, I've still got my baseball bat, so watch it. Come to the website, Econocataclysm. Oh, what's that? What's that disappeared over my head? It's a URL. You can't click on it, but you can see it. It's www.econocataclysm.com. Hey, Gary Weiss, come on over. I've got an entire forum, and you can just bring all the sock puppets you want, man. Bring all the sock puppets you want. It doesn't matter. They can all scream at each other, scream at the users. Everybody can scream at each other. It'll just be beautiful. Now, why is this the Escape from New York edition of the Econocataclysm report? I'll explain that to you. Basically, what it boils down to is the world as we know it is coming to an end. And people don't understand that, they don't realize it, and I will explain to you why it's coming to an end. Up until this point, the debt, the national debt, was about $12 trillion. The service on the debt was approximately equal to the other two biggest items on the federal budget, which were the Department of Defense budget, you know, our budget for killing people and blowing stuff up, and entitlements, which includes pretty much everything. Social Security is supposed to be accounted for separately. They've been robbing from that for years, but that doesn't matter. It's all a Ponzi scheme. What they just did is they took a whole bunch of toxic debt from Wall Street, from big Wall Street banks, $12 trillion worth, and pretty much without even asking anybody, they just stuck it on the books of the Fed as another obligation. They converted it to treasuries, they monetized it. And guess what? That's more debt. That doubled the national debt in a day. Which means now the service on the national debt is twice the budget for the entire Department of Defense. Tanks, planes, bombs, nukes, everything. It's twice that. They're talking about throwing another 12T on top of that before the budget starts, before they start having to talk about the budget in October, where they have to start going over the numbers. They have to look at the little dollars coming in and the little dollars going out, and it's all dollars going out. There's no income anymore. The tax base is destroyed. Nobody's working. There's nobody to tax, and the rich don't get taxed anymore, thanks to George Bush. So, and the Republican distraction machine is running at maximum volume. These people are crazy. Somebody sent me an email today, and I just want to respond to this because they said that Barack Obama was entirely responsible for the TARP, entirely responsible for bailing out AIG. You know, that happened in September of last year when Hank Paulson was still the Treasury Secretary. And you know, I'm sorry, guys. You can't just lie your way out of this one. You can't. It's not possible. I mean, you can lie, you can scream, you can use your giant right-wing engine to put out, like, whatever garbage you want, but come October, when the figures get released, no way. No way. The money is still gone. So it's crazy. Everything... all major institutions that we have ever heard of, the institutions that encompass us, that pretty much define our lives, are either going to be completely destroyed or reorganized completely. There's no other way. There's no other way. Our debt to the Chinese, they've already pretty much figured out we can't pay it. That's why the Chinese have already begun reorienting themselves to an internal economy. In other words, they've already decided. The media isn't making a big deal out of this, but they've already decided that they're going to try and develop their internal markets. Dollar decoupling. Remember dollar decoupling? If you watched last week, you heard about dollar decoupling. This is it. They've already decided they're going to do it. So what's left? I mean, not much, not much. Oh, and Gary Weiss. Who is this guy? This guy has been stalking the CEO of Overstock.com for I don't know how many years now, and he was on Wikipedia, and you know, I mean, that's a corrupt organization right there. You know, and he was in a protected environment when he did this, and he created all these sock puppets. So he goes on to the Daily Kos, okay, which is a hotbed of liberal blogging activity. He does exactly the same thing. And they pinch him, and they bounce him, and he's over on his blog whining about it. The guy is a weirdo. And what he's doing is, he's trying to obscure the issue of naked short selling, which is really complicated, and the point is, whenever they do it, they create an obligation. It's like they sell you a stock that doesn't exist, right? And they create this counter-obligation. And those counter-obligations, Refco created like $500 million of these, and that was just one hedge fund, okay? One hedge fund. How many screwy hedge funds does it take to equal about $12 trillion? Well, gee, 24 of them? And nobody knows. Nobody knows what's in that money that the Fed just sucked onto their books. Nobody knows. Bernanke's not telling. Bernanke is like, no, I'm not going to tell you anything because I'm Ben Bernanke and I'm hiding behind the Federal Reserve Act of 1913. You know, and this is absolutely the last stop for this money. All right, it's the last subsidiary. They're using the Fed as if it was like another subsidiary corporation that they could hide the money in. That's all. The bill to audit the Fed has already passed the House. There's some delaying tactics in the Senate, but the last time I checked, the equivalent Senate bill, and this was on the Daily Paul, had about 29 co-sponsors. When October comes and it's impossible to meet the budget, all the opposition for that bill is going to collapse. It's going to be a madhouse. So everybody get ready for the end, one way or the other. I mean, you have to. Come to the website. Oh, look, it just popped up over my head again. Come to the website, learn how to trade gold, buy emergency supplies, buy what you need. Hopefully they'll be able to get health care passed, you know. I was saying before that was impossible. It's only $100 billion a year. They might be able to squeeze that in. They might be able to squeeze single payer in. If they even have a budget left, because this is crazy. This is a madhouse. But really, yeah, we do need to get paid out, at least a little bit. And for you, Bernanke, good night, everybody.